ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनं। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Oh, thank you. So we're going to speak about two personalities today. Sita Devi, because she's the queen of Ramayana. And the second part we will do about Sumitra Devi. She's not often spoke about, but she plays a very important role. So you'll keep forwarding the slides, right? Okay. So we'll start with two verses of, let's say, invocation. This is about Sita Devi that Narada Muni speaks to Valmiki Rishi in the very first chapter of the Ramayana. This is the Sankshepa Ramayana. It's the summary chapter. And so these are the two verses. Prabhu. The two verses are, so you can repeat after me. Ramasya daita bharya nityam prana samahita janakasya kule jata devamaeva nirmita सर्वलक्षण संपन्ना नारीणाम् उत्तमा वधू सीताप्यनुगता रामं शशिनं रोहिणी यथा. This is Narada Muni's description. So we'll go line by line. Ramasya Daita Bharya. Bharya, wife. Daita, darling, affectionate, loving or lovable. Very, very dear to Sri Ramachandra. And how dear? Nityam Prana Sama. Like she is his life. And Nityam Hita. She is always Nityam. Every day, continuously, all the time. Hita. Thinking about Ramachandra's welfare. To do something in the benefit of Ramachandra. So we can hear how intense her love is for him. And where did she come from? Janakasya kule jata. She was born in Janaka's kula or family. But Deva Maya Iva Nirmita. She was so beautiful. What is one thing that enchants everybody in this world and in the spiritual world? The Lord's Maya Shakti. In this world, the Maya Shakti attracts people away from Krishna. And in the spiritual world, that Maya Shakti attracts everyone towards Krishna. So she is made, or her form, Narada says, Deva Maya Iva Nirmita. Nirmita means produced or created. Although she is not a created being, but she looked like Deva Maya Iva. Very captivating, alluring, attractive. And in her body are all wonderful features and forms and signs. So as devotees, we meditate on the feet of Srimati Radharani, and there are all these markings on them. So she also has Sarva Lakshana Sampanna. In her body are all the features that show that she is a very divine personality. Narinam Uttama Vadhuhu. Narinam, among all women, Uttama, she is the best, Vadhu, wife. So among all women, if women want to be, I'm hesitating to say ideal, but let's say for all wives, she is the role model. And not just wives on Earth planet or Singapore or India, US, in the higher realms, all the way up to Lord Brahma's planet. She is the role model that women can mold their lives in a way to follow her example. But people will say, oh, I have to walk into fire or something. But my husband is not like Ramachandra. All those can also come. But Sita Api. Api means also. Because 2 verses before he said Lakshmana went to the forest. So Narada is saying Sita Api. Sita also Anujagama. Anugata. Gata means went. Anugata means followed. Sita Api Anugata Ramam. How did she follow? What is this? You take all these overseas projects, then I also have to go behind you. No, not in that mood. So Valmiki or Narada Muni tells us in what's their mood? Shashinam Rohini Yatha. So in the sky, there is Shashi, there is the moon. Moon has 27 wives, the constellations. We call them the nakshatras. But among all of the 27, his dearmost is Rohini. He is always with Rohini. So if you look at the moon, there is a Rohini right there. What is it about Rohini that she only with her? Others also will come and go. You know, Ashwini, Moola Nakshatra, Jyeshtha Nakshatra, they'll all come and go. But Rohini, for some, he is always close to Rohini. So she followed him just the way Rohini follows the moon. Meaning lovingly, wantingly, pleasingly, happily. It's the New Year celebration. So we saw some diamonds the other day. Today we're seeing one diamond. I want you to imagine. They say in America, a diamond is, there you go, she knows it, a woman's best friend. Okay. Now consider if this diamond that we're seeing has all these what they're called facets and only one facet, flat. Will any of the women buy the diamond here? No. Where did you get this from? What is it called? Mustafa Market. Where'd you get this from? I don't want it. The more facets are on a diamond, the more it shines and sparkles. So like that, we're going to cover different facets of Sita Devi's nature or character by which she shines like anything, much better than a diamond. In the Sri Vaishnava tradition, they say and they believe, and it is true, that when the deity of the Lord, they remove all the ornaments and he has nothing on him, then he is very charming. So as they say in India, nazar lag jayegi, they put ornaments on him. Usually it's the opposite. People put on ornaments to look more beautiful. But in the case of the Lord and his consort, the ornaments hide the beauty a little bit. Or the ornaments become beautiful because they are on him or her. Unlike human beings, where the ornaments make the person's beauty enhanced. So we will look at some aspects or facets. So the first one, we'll take the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10. This is the very last verse of that chapter. And since we have a smaller crowd, we can recite and repeat the verse like we do for Bhagavatam. Okay? Premnanuvritya shilena Premnanuvritya shilena Prashrayavanata sati Bhiya hriya cha bhavagnya Bhartuh Sita haram manah Premnanuvritya shilena Prashrayavanata sati Bhiya hriya cha bhavagnya Bhartur Sita haran manah. Srila Prabhupada translates this as Mother Sita was very submissive, faithful, shy, and chaste, always understanding the attitude of her husband. Thus, by her character and her love and service, she completely attracted the mind of the Lord. The purport is there. So I'm going to read you just the excerpt, small piece of that purport. Prabhupada writes, as Sri Ramachandra is the ideal husband, Eka Patni Vrata, Mother Sita is the ideal wife. Such a combination makes family life very happy. Okay. Now we're going to consider facet by facet. So put on your seat belt. We're going to have quite a few of these. So you remember the verse, right? Premna anuvritya shilena. Prashrayavanata sati Bhiya hriya cha bhavagnya Bhartuh Sita haran manah. So Sita Devi, she has these qualities. And each of the words ends with a long A, which means by. So Premna, by her love. Okay. So what I did is, for each of the words, I will tell you a story or a pastime from the Valmiki Ramayana that shows this character. This is just a sample, because when you pick a diamond, what do? You just turn it a little bit here and there and you see it sparkle. A common person. A jeweler will take a little spectacle and study it further, which we want to become jewelers anyway. But this is just, we're entering the Ramayana store called Ramayana and picking the first diamond called Sita Devi and just examine. It's going to sparkle like it. So Premna, by her love. The situation is Ramachandra has decided to go to the forest. He tells Kausalya Devi. Of course, we know the story. She cries. She then finally gives her a blessing. There's a whole multiple chapters of conversation. Anyway, he has convinced her and he's about to leave. So he tells Sita Devi, see you in 14 years. She says, what do you mean, see you in 14 years? I'm going wherever you're going. He says, no, I'm going to the forest. Okay, I'll also go with you. Ramachandra, then there are about 3 or 4 chapters in which he convinces her she should not go. There are 20 sets of verses where the last line will always end with, therefore the forest is a very dreadful place. You should not go. So he tells her, there are wild animals. There is no air conditioning. It is very cold. It can be very hot. You sleep on the bare floor. Lions and tigers are prowling around. Snakes are there. Scorpions are there. Rakshasas are there. And she says, yeah, I will go with you. I will go with you. He says, no, you cannot come. He tells her, you should stay here because Ayodhya will be safe for you. It will be a comfortable place for you. So she says, yeah, I think since we are short, you like to repeat the verses? I think they're very sweet ones. Okay. Yah tvaya sahasa swargo nirayo yah tvaya vina iti janan param pritim gacchara maya saha tvaya saha. If I am with you, sa swarga, that is swarga for me. You may say Ayodhya has gold, wonderful plates, servants, maids, always chamara, fragrances, flowers, gardens, excellent furniture. You'll be carried in palanquins. It'll be like you're living in the heavenly planets. And she says, no, Ramachandra, tvaya saha. If I am with you, that is Swarga. Tvaya vina, without you, niraya. Niraya means hell. So if I am in Ayodhya, that will be a hell for me. If I am with you in the forest, sleeping on the bare floor, that will be a heavenly pleasure for me. Therefore, iti janan, knowing this, that param pritim, that the greatest joy that I will have, oh my darling Ramachandra, gaccha maya saha, go with me or take me with you. There's a lot of conversation. He is not convinced, but this is just a sampling of her love. That her love is of a nature that her own bodily comforts, actually she sees them as pain, misery. And what is considered misery, she sees as heavenly delights. Why? Just because there is the company of Ramachandra. That makes everything worth it. Tvaya vina nirayah. I can be in the greatest Ayodhya created by Manu himself, but I don't want it. It has no value for me. What is value is you, being with you. Okay. Next facet is anuvritya. Anuvritya means a everyday expression of her character. Vritti. Vritti means behavior or character, personality. Anuvritya, that's what she shows every day. So by her character, what did she show? That she always follows in Ramachandra's footsteps, because Janaka had told her during the marriage, Saha dharmachari tava. You are the emblem of dharma. You will always walk the path of dharma. She will also walk with you. She rendered all sorts of services to him very lovingly. Now she followed him, not only followed him into the forest, she demanded that she go to the forest. It'll come back to Premna in a moment after we cover a few verses, because this dialogue of their argument, somebody might say Sita and Rama never argued. No, they argued. Here's the evidence. First, when he says, don't come, I want to come. So the story goes that first he tells her, don't come because I have been asked to go, not you. Then she tells him, no, wherever you are, I also want to be. Then he says, forest is a very fearful place. So she says, if you are with me, the greatest Kshatriya on the planet, then what is the fear? So I'm no fear, I'll go with you. Then he says, it's not comfortable there. So she says, no, wherever you are, with you, that company is comfortable. You see that the argument keeps changing. Then he keeps saying, no, don't come. So she tells him, listen, a husband and wife relationship is something that is a very, very special relationship. So she gives this example. This is one of my favorite verses in the Ramayana. I have some favorite ones. This is one of my favorite ones. I love this verse. And when I explain, you will say, what a beautiful verse this is. So you can repeat. Na tantri vadyate veena. So the na is a long one because it's na atantri. Na tantri vadyate veena. Na chakravartate ratha. Na pati sukham edhate. Ya syat apishatatmaja. Okay. The meaning is there, but when you explain it, you'll see the joy of it. So first part, na atantri vadyate veena. Veena is an instrument that has strings on it. So there are two parts to a veena, the body and the strings that are mounted on it. Na atantri. If there are no strings on the veena, can you play it? Will it make any sound? Even if you have the best wooden, hollowed, carved with ivory, usually they used to make with ivory, and designed excellently on this side and that side, it looks exquisite. But if it has no string, and where are the strings on the veena? They rest, they sit on the bridge of the veena. So a husband is called Bharta. That means he's the support, the carrier, the maintainer. So in this case, the veena is like a household, grihastha couple, where the string is the wife and the body of the veena is the husband. The strings, only when they are set on the veena properly and you pluck the strings, it makes very sweet sound. And when it makes sweet sound, what do people say? The veena sounds well. The veena is beautiful. Nobody says the strings sound beautiful. That means the couple are a partnership. By the wonderful qualities of the wife, the husband gets great glory. That's just how it is. So the next line she says, na achakra vartate ratha. Now in this case, chakra is the wheel. The wheel is bearing the entire ratha. So the husband is the wheel, the wife is the body of the chariot, the ratha. If it has no wheels, can the ratha move? No. If the tires don't have enough air, how does it feel? The household doesn't move properly. So if the husband works like the wheels, strong, well-formed, and does his duty well, then the entire unit functions in such a way that the ride is very smooth. And when the tires are nicely inflated, nobody says, the tires are so nice. They say the ride is very nice. So by the husband performing his duty properly, the entire household and the wife gets the glory. Nice, huh? This is Sita Devi giving Ramachandra a little lesson on Grahastha counseling. I mean, who's she to give? This is sweet. I'm making jokes, but right? Very beautiful. Very for Grahasthas, this is like a role model verse. The wife does her part, and the husband gets the glory. He does his part, she gets the glory. So they're a wonderful unit together, like a veena or a chariot. So she says, therefore, na apatihi sukham edhate. Without my husband, without a husband, she's speaking general, the wife cannot be happy. Now, this is in scripture and ideal. Individual stories can be different. Because she says, Ya syat api shatatmaja. Even if he has given her 100 sons, because the son is considered the representative of the father or husband. Not he plays that same role, but even if there are 100 sons given by him, she will want the company of her husband, not the sons. That's what being together means. So Ramachandra, I cannot be without you. This is her anuvritya, her character. Because she is placing her need for or the joy of having Ramachandra's association and company far beyond anything. Okay, so the story continues. Ramachandra hears all this wonderful counseling advice, and like many husbands, doesn't take that advice. He says to her, yeah, but no, you're not going. It's very difficult in the forest. So she requested, she asserted, she advised, nothing. Oh, she cries. Oh, there's a whole chapter where she's only crying. Please, I want to go with you. He says no. So she tried all tears also she tried. Finally, Sita Devi says, what? I have to now assert and I have to say something that is sharp. So some people, at least when they read Ramayana, they feel pity for Sita. Oh, poor Sita. She was taken away by Ravana. She was put in the forest. Later, Ramachandra sent her away. Poor Sita. You will see. She is the best lawyer and advocate. If you ever have a problem in your life, you call Sita Devi to come for you. She will put your husband in order. And for men, she will put us in order. So she says, after trying and trying and trying, and he's not listening. So this is the verse. Kim tva amanyata vaideha pita me mithiladhipaha ramajamataram prapya striyam purusha vigraham. Kim tva, Kim, what? Vaideha, that is King Janaka, Pita me, Mithiladhipa, the king of Mithila, his name is Vaideha, or from Videha. He's my father. Kim amanyata, what will he think about you? What will he feel about you? Amanyata means what would be his worry or concern or feelings or thinking about tva, about you. He will say, Rama Jamataram Prapya. This Rama, Jamataram means son-in-law. Rama Jamataram Prapya. What kind of a son-in-law have I got? Striyam Purusha Vigraham. Although he looks like a man, he's a woman. In Hindi, the dialogue is, Chudi pehna hua hai. That's what she's saying. My father will say, my son-in-law is not a man, he's a woman. He's afraid to take his wife. Oh, she throws a dart at him. And at this point, Ramachandra says, Chalo, let's go. She is very assertive of her love. Now, this sounds like an insult. It's a harsh word. When husband and wife don't have a strong relationship, then even little things sound very harsh. But this love is so deep that Ramachandra does not take offense at all. Although it's a short statement. Imagine, Ramachandra is the Purusha among all beings in the universe, right? To him, she says, "You're a woman." My father will think you're a woman. I don't think that. My father will think like that. Actually, in Shubhashitas, they say that everybody is tormented by the grahas, planets. How many are there? 9. Navagraha. Therefore, people go round and round the Navagraha saying, "Please don't bother me, please don't bother me." So Shubhasita says, actually, for the bride's father, there are 10 planets, not 9. Jamataram Dashamo Graha. The son-in-law is the 10th planet. And he is the combination of all other 9, constantly tormenting the father-in-law. Jamataram Dashamo Graha. So anyway, she's spoken like this. Then Sri Ramachandra reveals his heart to her. And he says, "You know, Sita, it's not that I don't want you to come to the forest with me. Because when you're with me, it's the greatest happiness for me. But I do not want to take your love for granted. Just because I'm going to the forest and just because you're my wife, you should not feel obliged to go. You want to come willingly, voluntarily. And that's all I wanted to see." How much respect he has for her, that she wants to, not that you're my wife, you must do what I say. This is your dharma. Even it is the case, he will not force it on her. You choose voluntarily. And not just once, she said, he tried in different ways to dissuade her from going along. But no, I will come with you. Then he says, "Yes, come. I just was testing you. That you want to go, not because you're obliged to go." Then the next one is Shilena. Now this is just one episodes, okay? This is not the only. There are hundreds of verses on each of the items, but now we're talking Shilena. Shilena, Prabhupada says, by her service. Because Rupa Goswami defines for us in Nectar of Devotion, pure devotional service in Sadhana Bhakti. You know that verse? I'll give you a hint. Yeah, but the first line is? First line? There you go. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma dyanavritam anukulyena krishnaanushilena bhaktir uttama. Krishna Anushilanam. Prabhupada says Anushilanam means a type of cultivation. This is her service. Now, when this argument is going on, you should not come, I want to go with you. She says to Ramachandra, the reason I want to go to the forest, one of my reasons, Ramachandra, is because you have this duty. But I want to be with you as someone who will assist you and serve you there. And this is how I will serve you. I think. Yeah. Yadi tvam prastitha durgam vanam adya eva raghava agratah te gamishyami mridnanti kushakantakan. Rama, as you are walking in the forest bare feet, there will be lot of dry grass, thorns, kantaka, and kusha, because kusha grass becomes very dry and rough. So you can get you can get cuts, or thorns can prick your soles of your lotus feet. Some poets and devotees describe how soft, mridu, the soles of the Lord are, because they're pinkish in color. One time it seems Lakshmi Devi, as she's massaging the feet of the Lord, at the feet, her hands also pinkish, soft, delicate as a lotus petal. But when she touched the soles of the Lord's feet, suddenly the sole from pink turned to red. That means so delicate are his feet. And that feet, or those feet, are going to walk bare, without any shoes, in the forest for 14 years. So she's concerned for him, and she says, Agratah te gamishyami. I will walk ahead of you. And mridnanti. Mrid means earth, right? Mridanga, clay, the drum made from clay. Mridnanti. I will crush into the ground kusha kantakan. I will step on the thorns so that when you walk, it will be a smooth ride for you. You will not get hurt. So the commentators on Ramayana say that this verse is not just literal, but also a prophetic verse. The prophecy she is making is the Rakshasas in Dandaka and then in Lanka are all the Kusha and Kantaka, the thorns on the path of all the wonderful Vaishnavas in the forest. And the Ramachandra is going to walk to go fight these Rakshasas. But she will crush them. Agratah te gamishyami. I will go before you. Who went to Lanka first? Sita Devi. Ramachandra came later. Because she's saying, Agratah te gamishyami. And I will crush. So she crushed Ravana. We will see. Is the next one is there? Napahartum. On. Is that? Okay. So don't put it up yet. So this is her Shilena, her service. Now, there is another place where she is already in Lanka, captured there. She's been sitting there for almost 10 months. And I wish I can show, but this is how she was sitting under the Shimshupa tree. Her both knees touching her chest and arms round those knees, head bent down and constantly crying for 10 months. She hasn't eaten anything. She has not slept. And she's only crying. Every morning, Ravana would come with 500 of his queens and harass Sita Devi. He cannot touch her, but he would harass her. In America, we call it grooming. Those who are predators, who offend, sexually offend women, they're called groomers. They take time and then slowly work their way through. So Ravana is a groomer. So he will tell her, oh, Sita Devi, enjoy all the exploits with me. See my palaces, see the vimanas, see the silk that they are wearing. See the jewelry that you are wearing. Look at the gardens, look at the palaces, the cars. This is all for you. In fact, you will be the prime queen, even greater than Mandodari. And Mandodari is standing right there. But she never looks at him. Even once in 10 months, she never looked at him. This verse was spoken when Hanuman is sitting on the tree, looking down, and he's noticing Ravana there. And Ravana has spoken all these things. Finally, at one point, Sita Devi becomes very angry. And she says to Ravana, Na apahartum aham shaktya. Na apahartum aham shakya. Tvaya ramasya dhimatah. vidhistava vadharthaya vihito natra samshayah. Aham Ramasya Dhimatah. Ramachandra is a very wise personality. Aham Ramasya. I belong to Sri Ramachandra. I am his. Ravana, you're thinking that you held my hair and you brought me to Lanka. But let me tell you, na apahartum shakya. You don't have the ability to kidnap me. But the reason this happened because vidhis tava vadha arthaya. Vidhi means providence, or we say is the Lord's plan, destiny. In a normal circumstance, we say destiny, but destiny is written by the Supreme Lord. So, vidhis tava vadharthaya. You think you have brought me here. Let me tell you, I've brought you here. I mean, that's the hidden meaning. I've brought you here because you are destined to die. Na atra samshaya. Let there be no doubt. You are gloating about your own power. That's not how it happened. You think you brought me here? No, I brought you here. So this service attitude for Shilena is that her character is such that under all circumstances, her heart is always, according to the definition of, although it is sadhana bhakti, but still, anukulena, it is always in favor of, favorable for Sri Ramachandra. Okay. Now we'll turn the diamond a little bit more. The next feature is called Prashraya Avanata. So these are two words, but let's look at what is that word in Sanskrit for surrender or shelter? Sharana. Sharana or Sharanagati. Sharanagati is the act of Sharana. Prashra. Sharana comes from the root word Shra, to take shelter of, to take support of. Prashraya means always under the shelter of. In other words, being submissive. And avanata. What is nata? Nata means to bow down, to offer respect. Avanata, always, even in a very extreme way or intense way. Prashraya vanata avanata, by her submissiveness, by humbly bowing down and seeking Ramachandra's shelter. What does that mean? That I do not take protection from anything else or anyone else. Sri Ramachandra is my only shelter and protector. This is one of the limbs of Sharanagati. When we speak of Vibhishana, we will go through all the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. But for now, that Krishna is my only protector. He is my Pala. He will take care of me. Now, she's going to tell Ravana something. First, she's told him, you think you brought me here, you don't have the capacity. But she's showing how she is very submissive and always seeking Ramachandra's protection, although she has the ability to take care of herself. But that's not the character. Let's go back. You were here when we talked about Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra had come to ask for Rama to take him to Siddhashram. There Vishwamitra said, I can easily burn all the Rakshasas, but I'm a Brahma Rishi. And Rishis always rely on the Kshatriyas. Therefore, I want Rama to come, because they feel sheltered by the Kshatriyas. So here, after telling Ravana that you didn't bring me here, This is another lovely verse. Actually, this is the verse before she said that. So, asandeshatu ramasya tapasaschanupalanat natvam kurmi dashagriva bhasma bhasmarhate jasa. Hey Ravana, na tvam kurmi. She calls him Dashagriva. So you should say, when you recite this verse, you should say the verse Dashagriva lovingly but angrily, because she has nothing against him, but it should be said angrily. Na tvam kurmi Dashagriva. Okay, you all guys don't make good Sitas, but anyway. So she says, na kurmi tvam. I will not make you bhasma. I will not make you into a lump of ash. Because she has so much yogic power. More than yogic power, her chastity, she's sati. And she has so much power that if she looks at Ravana like that, the 20 hands, 10-headed, mighty Rakshasa, in 2 minutes will be, not even 2 minutes, will be a lump of ash there. But she says, na tvam kurmi bhasma, although bhasma arha, you are fit to be ash. Because I have that tejasa, by my tejas. Why? Asandeshatu. Because Ramachandra has not given me the permission. I can do it, but he has not given me the permission. She doesn't need the permission per se, but what she's saying is, I'm very chaste to Rama. He is my protector. And I want in history that Ramachandra be glorified as the one who killed Ravana. This is Sharanagati. A devotee, I'm pointing to me, I'm not the devotee, but a devotee never makes their own arrangements for protection. Whatever protection the Lord sends, that is all they will accept. So if you want an example, think of Prahlad Maharaj. Little boy, 5-year-old. His own father put him in burning oil. He did not protest. For him it was, if it happens, my Lord will take care of me. He was put under mad elephants. He was poked with spears and daggers. He was thrown into a pit of deadly venomous snakes. He was pushed from a mountain. But he never did anything to protect himself. That is Sharanagati. As soon as someone protects themselves a little bit, so generally the story is given of Draupadi. Dushashana was the strength of 10,000 elephants, was pulling her sari. How much strength can Draupadi have? I mean, she's very strong, by the way. Because in another episode, when Jayadratha tries to kidnap her, she gives him one punch and the fellow falls out of the chariot. So she's a very strong Kshatrani, but still, in Dushashana, when she's pulling, she's holding on to her sari and still is pulling. Then she does something that is very irrational. She holds the sari between her teeth, thinking that will protect her. Still. Finally, only when she raises her hands and says, my dear Krishna, come what may, you are my protector. Immediately Krishna sent her sari. And up until that time, he's waiting. You're trying something on your own? Okay, I'll wait and see. When we speak about the best kept secret, this will come back again in Sita Devi's situation, because then she's showing how a jiva behaves in circumstances. So the tendency for us is to protect ourselves. Now, I'm not saying we should not protect. So no more seat belt. Ramachandra, I will drive without. That's not the point. That is silly. When situations come like, We can only act according to our realization. If it's not our realization, then we cannot. So that is her prashraya avanata. Sati, her chastity. Her chastity is that she did not even look at Ravana even once. I mentioned it. Because she does not want, or she's not attracted by anything that Ravana is offering her, she is just not interested. Because she's chaste to Sri Ramachandra. She's not like I shouldn't say she's not like, but as someone who's not very chaste. Bhagavatam gives us a verse about not being chaste. Nowadays I'm missing verses, but it's in the 5th canto. It talks about being driven on the chariot of the mind. Do you know that verse? How it starts? One who has bhakti is decorated with all the qualities of the demigods. Yasyasti bhagavati, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchanaha. One who has akinchana bhakti. Kinchit means little bit. Akinchit, that means not even a little bit of contamination in their bhakti. Bhakti means for me, Sri Krishna or Sri Ramachandra, Narsimhadev, Jagannath is exclusive. It's not that on Tuesday, Ganesha, some other day, somebody else, 10 minutes of someone, nothing. Exclusive. The Supreme Lord is my only person that I have love for, I serve. Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavati akinchina. Tatra, there or in them, sarva guna surasate. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati kinchina. Tatra samasate gunaha suraha. All the qualities of the devatas are manifest in such a person. Harav abhaktasya. One who doesn't have bhakti towards Hari. Asati. Asati means unchaste. What is the lack of chastity? That my fidelity, my loyalty, my love is distributed because this devata can give me this, that devata can give me this, my boss will give me this, someone else will give me that. It's distributed. That is called asati. In harsher language, sati is a chaste wife. Asati is someone else. You know who I mean, right? I can't say it. Jagannath is here. It wouldn't be abroad. But asati means unchaste person. Asati manorathena dhavato bhahi. Manorathe, whatever the desire. Oh, today this. Sati. And this is how Hanuman sees her for the first time. And this verse we will repeat again when we speak about Hanuman meeting Sita Devi. But this is again one of my favorite verses because this is how Hanuman first saw Sita. Not dressed in royal garments, not at all. In this cloth that she's been wearing for 10 months, it is all dirty. So here is what he hears, what he sees her as. Tato malina samvitam rakshasibhi samavritam upavasa krisham dinam nisvashanti punah punah dadarsa shukla pakshadau chandrarekham ivamalam. You want to see the beauty of this verse? See the first word, malina. See the last word, amalam. They're opposites. Malina, dirty. Amalam, pure. And between these two words is how Sita is. Tato, at that time, Hanuman saw malina samvitam. Samvita is one piece of cloth. Generally, they would wear two, one for the upper and one that covers the rest of the body. But in this case, Sita was wearing one. Malina samvitam rakshasibihi sam avratam. She is surrounded by Rakshasis, constantly watching on her, every movement of hers. Upavasa. She is not eating potato sabji, peanuts, and sabudana, calling that upavas, like we do. Upavasa, she has not eaten anything. Krisham, that is, she has become very emaciated. Krisha means weak or thin, slim. Deenam, helpless. Nishwasanti, swasa means to breathe. Nishwasa means to exhale. In English, we call it sigh, S-I-G-H. That is called Nishwasa. Nishwasanti punah punaha. Rama, Rama, when will you come? Dadarsha, Hanuman saw. Shukla Paksha Adau Chandra Rekham Iva. Today is Amavasya or yesterday? Today. So today you can't see anything in the sky. Tomorrow, Shukla Paksha Adau. Exactly tomorrow night. Please look at the moon. You will see, oh, if there is no cloud in Singapore. There will be a very, very thin line. Although the moon is full, bright, beautiful, strong. A thin sliver. Because Sita is thin, emaciated. Chandra Rekham Iva. But even that thin sliver is Amalam, pure. That is the nature of the Jiva. Whatever is the body, dirty. Because this has stool, mucus, urine, and all other dhatus in the body. 7 dhatus. Bones, foul smell. That's why I have to wash, brush, all that smell. And yet inside this dirty body, Chandra Rekham Iva Amalam, the Jiva, pure, is residing. This is her Sati feature. That she is chaste. Because she is chaste, Hanuman sees her as pure. Okay. Next word was Bhaya. By fear. No, it doesn't mean she is afraid of Ramachandra. By fear means that she is always cautious. She is afraid that she should not act in such a way that brings any disrepute to Sri Ramachandra. That's how we are supposed to behave also. Especially when we are wearing traditional devotional clothes with tilak and bead bag. How we walk on the street, how we interact with people, how we interact with each other. Because people of the world will look at me, let's say I misbehave on the street, although the Gita reading society is a big society. By one person's behavior, the world will say they're all like that. So we carry that responsibility on our shoulder. Then I say, oh, very good. I will not wear dhoti, tilak, bead bag. Then I can behave any way I like. We always find loopholes. No, but we carry that. So she is also, that is called bhaya. Through fear in the sense of I'm cautious, I'm careful. How I behave and how the world sees me. In this case, the pastime is Sita and Rama along with Lakshmana are walking through the forest. Ramachandra is carrying a very mighty bow. He has a very sharp sword and a quiver full of arrows. So Sita Devi tells Ramachandra, you're wearing the dress of a ascetic, Muni, Rishi, but you're carrying weapons. The two don't match. So she says, I have a concern. I want to express it to you, Sri Ramachandra. She says there are 3 situations, 3 times where a person becomes degraded, or 3 situations in which a person becomes very degraded. There you go. Trini eva vyasanani atra kamajani bhavantyuta mithya vakyam tu paramam tasma. Well, we'll read it differently. Mithya vakyam tu paramam tasmat gurutara ubhau paradara abhigamanam vina vairyam cha raudrata. Ramachandra, atra, here or in this world, trini eva vyasanani. There are three ways in which someone can become degraded. Because kama jani bhavanti uta. They say that these vyasana, the downfall or deterioration, comes from lust. The three types of them, or they show up as three. First, mithya vakyam tu paramam. Speaking lies. And then she says, with you, I'm not concerned at all that you will ever speak lies because you are Dridhavrata, Satyavrata. So that's not my concern. But for human beings, that's a problem. That means as soon as one speaks a lie, life has begun degrading. Next she says, Paramam tasmat guratara ubhau. There are two more that are guratara, heavier than these. And the second one is paradara abhigamanam. Lusting after someone else's wife. And vina vairyam cha, without animosity, without a reason for being enemies, raudrata, anger or violence. That means never offensive. In defense, you have to protect yourself. Violence, understandable. But without vairyam, without any animosity, just randomly killing something or someone is not right. And she says, as far as the second one is concerned, paradara abhigamanam, not the slightest possibility ever. But because you're carrying this bow, arrows, sword, I'm concerned. Do you really need to carry that? Ramachandra says, Sita, I have given my word. I will always protect the saintly people. And to fulfill that word, even if the situation is that I have to give yourself up, or Lakshmana, or even give up my life, I will still protect. By this, she becomes very pleased. Because she is checking. Because in a few years, the Rakshasas will show up. Ravana will show up. At that time, if you say, you know what, 14 years I've been in the forest, I feel like being non-violent sadhu. It's not going to work at that time. So she's happy. But at this point, she shares a story. You want to hear the story? Yeah, why not? She says, there was a sage living in the forest. And that sage had completely controlled his senses. Nothing would disturb. He had given up ego, pride, all of that. One day, Indra showed up at his doorstep and said, oh, my dear sage, I have to go somewhere else for a few days, but I cannot take my sword with me. Can I leave it with you for a few days? The sage said, this is Indra's sword, sitting in a golden sheath, studded with diamonds and rubies and emeralds and very exquisitely made. You keep it in some corner there. I don't care. Indra said, okay, I'll keep it in the corner. The first few days, the sage just went on doing his things, nothing was there. A few days later, he felt, there's a sword there, no? There's a sword there. But should not think about it. Few more days passed. He said, maybe I can turn and take one look at it like that. It looks very beautiful. So he started looking at it. Some days passed. He said, I am a sage. What will I do with a sword? But I want to see how it feels when you touch it. It is Indra's sword. So he touches it. Ooh, nice. And he keeps it back. Some days later, he says, I saw the sheath. It's called Mayan, in Hindi. I want to take it out to see how it shines. So he takes it out. The blade, made of the best steel, shining. It's like, wow. Puts it back and goes, humko kya karna hai? Few more days later, pulls it out, goes out of his ashram and starts killing animals left, right, and center. Because Indra's test this was. So the way material objects attract people, although one may say, oh, nothing, but one by one, because Krishna says, right? Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsam. So that verse only. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsam Sangateshu Upajayate. Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Kamat Krodho Vijayate. That's what happens. So she says to him that even a sage of such controlled senses fell down. Because these weapons are like that. They're very powerful. They draw a person into becoming unnecessarily violent. She's a wonderful advisor. She's careful. She's concerned that history should not say that Ramachandra was unnecessarily violent. And then in Manusmriti, it says there are 10 such vyasanas by which a person becomes degraded. Especially kings also should not do it. Don't ask me questions on this one. First one, hunting. All Kshatriyas would hunt. That means it has to be highly regulated. You cannot be unregulated about it. Sleeping in the daytime. Abusing others. Indulgence in women. Or for women, indulgence in men. The 3 artistic impulses like music, dance, and drama. The only music, the only dance and drama you can watch, technically speaking, I shouldn't say you can watch, we can watch, is the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, sitting and watching any other dances, it says, is a vyasana. It will draw you into degraded life. Wasteful wandering, just moving around without any aim or goal. These are the 10 such desires that should be avoided. Okay. Next, Khriya. Khriya means by her shyness. For a woman, they say, her shyness is her greatest protection. We have heard Prabhupada also narrating the story, right? A sweeper woman would come. You heard the story? Prabhupada narrates that how shyness is a very, very strong protector for a woman. So he said when he was younger, he was in a particular place, like a lodge or some place. And there was a sweeper lady who came. And they're all men just standing, and how men are sometimes, chit-chatting, talking about other women going around. But this lady came with a broom in her hand, her head covered in a certain way, head bowed down, and came to sweep. And Prabhupada says, all the men just stepped aside and didn't, say anything about her, just respectfully stepped away. So he said chastity is a very, very strong protector. That's one example. There are stories of Savitri and another one, some other time. I like to tell stories, if you noticed, and I can get distracted easily. Okay. So here, her shyness, we appreciate in this way. That she is the one that pretty much is running the entire Ramayana story. Number one. Number two, she is the one who's the cause for everybody to come and become Ramachandra's devotees. All the sages in Dandakaranya, because she is with him, And as they are going, they're all coming to Ramachandra. Sugriva became a devotee of Ramachandra because of her, because she threw the jewels down, and all of them were like, they got the jewels, and it meant that they had to do some service. So she engages, she connects them to Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana. Hanuman also. The others, Vanaras that were with Sugriva. You know the bird Sampati, Jatayu's brother? He got new wings because he said, I saw Ravana take somebody. So as soon as he saw Sita, Ram Seva began for him. Vibhishana. Vibhishana came to Ramachandra because of Sita Devi. Trijata. Trijata is the one who gets a dream. All the Rakshasis want to eat Sita Devi and harass her. Trijata says, everybody step back. I got a dream. The dream that Ravana was being carried on donkeys towards Yamaraja's abode. Because her husband will come and take her away, everyone back. So, because she had Sita Devi's association. There is another woman by the name Sarama. Some people say Trijata is Vibhishana's daughter, Sarama is Vibhishana's wife. But I don't have a specific reference to confirm it. Some acharyas say like that. All the ladies that were trapped by Ravana in Lanka, she frees them also. After meeting Sita Devi and after burning Lanka, when Ravana is dead, Hanuman comes to give her a message on behalf of Ramachandra that war is ended, don't be in anxiety, Ravana is finished. And then it asks Sita Devi, please give me permission, I want to, with my elbow, hit all these Rakshasis and kill them because they've been troubling you. She says, Hanuman, no. No killing. Because you are following the order of your master. You are very glorious. What are they doing? They are following the order of their master. What is their fault? And who is there in this world who has never made a mistake? So no killing. Hanuman is shocked, offers her obeisances and goes back. So this is how, by her shyness, meaning she making sure that she does not take the spotlight at all. Although she is the queen of it, she never takes the spotlight. All the light always shines on Ramachandra. And Ramachandra always shines the light on his devotees. Bhavagya. By knowing his mind. Bhavagya. To know what is happening in the mind of Sri Ramachandra. We recite this verse every day, glorifying Sri Rupa Goswami. Shri Chaitanya Manaha Abhishtam, Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will Rupa Goswami give me place at the tip of his feet? He who understood the heart of Lord Chaitanya. Sita Devi is also like that, Manobhishtam. She knows. So this is how she knows Manobhishtam. Okay. About 13 years, almost 13, not fully 13, almost 13 years have passed. They are in Panchavati. They are having a fantastic time in Panchavati. At that time, suddenly the Ritu, the season called Hemanta, is going on. Hemanta means Hima is snow, Anta, the end of snow. So January, February. But still very cold. So as they are moving through the forest, Lakshmana describes the Hemanta Ritu. Look at the mountain peaks. Look at how early morning the dew on the leaves of the trees is almost frosted. The surface of the lake has become frosted. It's so cold that elephants cannot put their trunks into the water. As soon as they touch the water, the trunk comes out like that. He says ducks and fowls and other birds, geese, they're all clustered together to be warm between each. And while he's narrating this, he says, and in Ayodhya, Bharata is all by himself. If it were not for that Kaikeyi, and Ramachandra tells him, Lakshmana, you can continue talking of Bharata as much as you want, but nothing about Kaikeyi. We never say anything bad about Kaikeyi. And then he tells Sita and Lakshmana, now, Nishchitapi me buddhir vanavase dridhavrata bharata sneha santapta balishe kriyate punaha. He says, Nishchita api me buddhi vanavase dridhavrata. My buddhi, my intelligence is very fixed that I should stay in the forest because vanavas. However, when I remember Bharata sneha santapta, my heart starts to burn in sadness when I think of the love and affection of Bharata. And I become like a child, balishir. Kriyate. Balishir kriyate punaha me buddhi. That same dridhavrata buddhi becomes like the intelligence of a child. You've seen children, very indecisive. You want this laddu or you want that laddu? You want this sweet or that? They can't decide. But anyway, if someone ever asks you, do you want this sweet or that sweet? You know what's the right answer? I want both. So then he says, Kada, next one is that? Kadanvaham sameshyami bharatena mahatmana shatrughnena cha virena tvaya cha raghunandana. Kada anvaham. Anvaham, be meeting with. Kada, when? Sameshyami. Samaveta bhakturinda. Sameshyami, I will gather with Bharata. That great Bharata. And Shatrughna, who's a great Veera. Tvayacha, and you Lakshmana. Oh, Raghunandana. Raghunandana is Lakshmana here. When will I be again together with all my brothers? I really miss that. This is where, when he's speaking, Sita Devi is hearing. And she says, the internal thinking is, he is missing Bharata, Shatrughna. The next first verse of the next chapter, guess who shows up on the scene? Shurpanaka. Sita Devi is speeding up the pastimes now. Because only when Shurpanaka will come, one more year is left. Shurpanaka has to go tell Ravana, Ravana has to come, Sita has to go to Lanka, Ramachandra has to build a bridge, come to Lanka, kill Ravana. That's done. Go back. So now she wants to make sure that Ramachandra can go back quickly. And so he says Yadrichaya. Yadrichaya means somehow or the other. But actually Yadrichaya in this case is, in the Ramayana, wherever there is a turn of events, there is a woman involved in that situation. Manthara, Kaikeyi, Shurpanaka, and there is other somewhere also. But there's always, what it means is that the feminine energy is moving the pastimes. Right? We said Sita is the queen there. So then let's consider for a couple of seconds how this whole pastime is being governed by that Hladini potency of the Lord. Ramachandra was going to the forest, correct? Sita said, I also want to go. So he said, yes. Then someone else said, I'm coming. Lakshmana. Ramachandra said, no. Again, there's a whole chapters of Lakshmana saying why you should go. Ramachandra said, no. You take care of my mother. We'll talk about his mother in few minutes. Lakshmana's mother. Ramachandra is not agreeing. So there's a beautiful verse where Lakshmana falls down on the ground, holds Ramachandra's feet tightly. Guard him means tightly. Nishpidya. He's holding Ramachandra's feet, looking at Sita Devi and speaking to Ramachandra. That you please take me to the forest and I will do everything for you. Aham sarvam karishyami jagratah shwapataschate. When you're awake and sleeping, I will do everything for you. He's speaking indirectly to Sita Devi. So our prayers become fulfilled when we approach the Lord through his internal potency. That please, Srimati Radharani, please convey. Isn't that the Hare Krishna mantra? Oh, Srimati Radharani, please engage me in the service of your beloved Sri Krishna. Oh, Sita Devi, please engage me in the service of your beloved Sri Rama. So Lakshmana is also doing the same. So then, only when Sita agrees, the Ramachandra says, okay, Lakshmana, let's go. Right? But Sita, if she had not agreed, Lakshmana would have never been in the forest. But there's a reason why she brought him. Or she, I guess, consented or sanctioned for him to come. Because if Sita, let's consider Lakshmana was not in the forest at all. It's only Ramachandra and Sita. And if Ravana made Maricha become a golden deer and came there, what would have happened? Would Ramachandra ever leave Sita and go behind that deer? Absolutely not. And if Ramachandra did not go, then Sita cannot go to Lanka. Agrastaste gamishyami, she said. Right? Remember? Mridnanti krushakantakan. So she cannot go to Lanka. If she can't go to Lanka, Rama cannot come to Lanka and Ravana cannot die. So Lakshmana being there was important. As part of the plan. So Ramachandra goes after the deer. Now we have to get Lakshmana out of the scene. What reason will she give Lakshmana to go? Because his older brother said, be here. Lakshmana will not listen to anybody else. So what is the one only weapon that she has to make Lakshmana go from the scene? When she accuses him, your intentions are not clean. You've been waiting for 13 years for this opportunity. Lakshmana is like, what are you talking? His heart is shattered. And out of complete embarrassment, walks away. But that's required so that Ravana can be in this scene. Because she tells Ravana, right? Vidhi vadhasya. Your vadha was written by Vidhi. Of course, the way it happened is harsh, painful. So she gets back from Sri Ramachandra. I'll tell you another story. Should I tell you a story? Yeah, good, right answer. Because if you had said no, I would have told you the story anyway. So you remember that verse, Jamataram Pita me Mithiladhipa Kim Tva Amanyavat Jamataram Striyam Purusha Vigraham. She told him that. So that's an insult to Ramachandra. But now we'll consider that. She put a little poke. At that time, Ramachandra did not say anything. He just kept quiet. 13 years later, Khara, Dushana, Trishira and 14,000 demons attack. At that time, Ramachandra tells Lakshmana, take Sita into the cave there and you be there. I will take care of these Rakshasas. Lakshmana says, Chota mota Rakshasas. Why you have to worry? You stay in the cave with Sita. I will take care of them. Ramachandra says, Lakshmana, you don't understand. You stay with Sita. I will take care of these Rakshasas. And standing in one spot like that, with high speed, when these Rakshasas are rushing towards them, 14,000 all together rushing towards him, Ramachandra, in a matter of 72 minutes, finishes everybody. But they're also shooting arrows at him. So his body is pierced with arrows, blood flowing. Although he is greenish in color, his body is all red. He looks like a kimshupa tree, full red flowers on him. Wounded, hurt, bleeding. He kills all of them and he comes and stands in front of Sita Devi near that cave. Now, while Ramachandra is fighting, all the Devatas are in the sky, Gandharvas, they all want to see this wonderful Ramachandra fighting. Arey, fighting scene. When he comes and stands in front of Sita, he doesn't utter a word. He just looks at her and smiles. She comes running and embraces him. Now, a woman embracing her husband in the middle of all so many people is not considered right, not etiquette, but she does it. And the Acharyas say, this is the place where Ramachandra, by his smile, is telling Sita, you said, no, Striyam Purusha Vigraham. I am not Striyam. Look at me. I am the Purusha. How many demons I have killed. So her embracing him is her way of saying sorry. It's a very important principle there. That insult or fighting actually should not be done. But if it is done privately. Apology must be done publicly. That's what she did. Usually what happens? Insult is done publicly. Apology is done. Ejara side now, I want to tell you, I'm very sorry. It's done privately. Not the way Sita Devi shows us. Public apology. I'm very sorry. And by that love by which she embraces him, because she is Shakti, she is the embodiment of all herbs, Ramachandra's wounds immediately become healed. Okay. So when he was insulted, he waited 13 years to correct her. When Lakshmana was insulted, immediately, as soon as Ravana is killed, he will return those words back to her. Now, for such episodes, it is more of a tattva. So don't think that Sita is like a harsh lady. I mean, cannot be. But there's lessons for us. So you take it from a tattva, the lesson perspective. The lesson perspective is, if one offends the Lord, he's very patient. He doesn't really respond so quickly. But you offend a devotee, he doesn't wait. He is very quick to correct. Okay. Bhartuhu mana aharat. That was the end of that line of that Bhagavatam verse. Bhartu, of the husband, manaha aharat. She captivated or stole his mind. Okay. In Sundarakanda, we'll hear this verse again because I like this verse very much. This is my in the list of my favorites. This stands again on the top somewhere. Hanuman gave the message that Lord Ramachandra gave to him to give to Sita, the ring. I'm not telling you the story because we're going to spend an entire hour and a half in that story. So then Hanuman says, please give me some message back. So when I go and tell Sri Ramachandra I met Sita, he will ask me, how does she look? What did she say? And if I don't have a message, he'll say, what kind of a servant? How do I know it was Sita? So please tell me something. So she conveys something. But she has a question. You know, Hanuman, you saw my condition. I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm constantly crying, I'm sad, I'm missing him very much. Does he miss me? So Hanuman, first when he met Sita Devi, he introduces himself as I'm Hanuman, and the messenger of Ramachandra, Rama, Lakshmana, Kushali Bhava. They are actually doing well. So she's like, they're doing well. How are they doing well? When I am in such a horrible condition, how can he do well? So she asks him, you tell me, how is he? Is he missing me? At that time, Hanuman, with almost tears in his eyes, recites this verse. He says, Na eva damshan na mashakan na kitan na sarishrupan Raghavo apanayet gatrat tvadgatena antaratmana. This verse you have to envision. Okay? In your mind's eye, have the picture. He says, Ramachandra tvadgatena antaratmana. His mind is only completely absorbed in you. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, after describing all the yogis, he ends chapter 6 with Yoginam api sarvesham, among all the yogis. You see the phrase? But there he says, Madgatena antaratmana. That yogi whose mind is completely absorbed in me, I consider that yogi the best. But if a yogi's mind is completely in him, then his mind should also be. So, tadgatena antar, he's only thinking of you. So what is the symptoms by which we know that his mind is completely absorbed in you? Because he's only sitting like that. And he says, Damshan. Damshan are mosquitoes. Damshan are flies. We all know, although I've seen that in Singapore, there are no flies. Where? I have not found any. But assume there is a fly. One fly sits on your hand or somewhere near your face. What do? Reflexes to do something. So he says, Na damshan, plural. That means flies. He's in the forest. Flies are hovering around him, sitting on him. Apanayet gatrat na. He does not move them or shove them away, shoo them away from his body. Mashakan. Mosquitoes are sitting and biting him. When a mosquito sits, reflex, we do something. Na gatrat apanayet. So no flies, no mosquitoes. Kitan. Bugs are crawling on him. Crickets, scorpions, centipedes. I mean, many people, when they look at a centipede in that corner of the room, they'll run away. Those centipedes are crawling on him. But he doesn't have the sensation because his mind is absorbed in you. Not only Kitan, bugs, Sarishrupan, snakes are crawling on him. And he doesn't move them away. Vadgatena antaratmana Raghava. That is his condition, Sita Devi. Nityam dhyana paro Rama. Dhyana paro is lost in thoughts about you. Nityam shoka parayana, and is constantly crying for you. Nanyat chintayate kinchit. He is not thinking of anything else. Satu kama vasham gataha. He is completely absorbed in his love for you. The same verses we'll see again. Rama mana apaharan. Rama mana aharat. Sita. Bhartur. Okay. So that ends our narration of Sita Devi's character. Any thoughts? We have 2 minutes. We'll take some thoughts or questions. We'll take a 5-minute break. We'll come back and we'll hear about Sumitra Devi. I hope you'll come back. Please come back. Okay, any thoughts, questions, comments? Yes. Please ask easy questions, okay? It is a New Year holiday time. So.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, there was a verse, Tato Malina
Tato
Samvitam.
Malina Samvitam.
Prabhuji, I have read or heard somewhere, I don't know which Ramayana this is from, that Sita Devi got certain Divya clothes from
Correct. This is
Mata.
that one that Anusuya Devi gave her.
So how these clothes become Malina? That's what I wanted to check.
If you come when I narrate that, because there is a special realization of a great poet called Kamban as to why it has become Malina. Yes, it is Divya, but she's been rolling on the ground for 10 months because that's where she's been. She has not slept. She's rolling on the ground. She's constantly crying. Her tears have made the cloth wet. And then the tears dry up. The cloth dries up. Have you ever seen a cloth that is stained? When it dries up, that stain remains? That is the Malina. So one great Acharya tells us why the stains are there. I'll hold that till you come back when we hear about Hanuman talking to her.
Prabhuji, I have one more follow-up question.
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, there are so many Ramayanas. We also have Ramcharitmanas.
That's correct.
So how is Valmiki Ramayana and Ramcharitmanas different? I mean, are they just different in language, or there's something else also that's different?
So the baseline story or baseline plot is the same. Like there's Dasharatha, he has 4 sons, 3 wives, going to the forest, Ravana, Lanka, all that. That's the plot. That's the same. But the conversations, the details, the circumstances, there are differences. For example, Lakshman Rekha is not there in Valmiki Ramayana. There are a few other things that are not there in Valmiki Ramayana. But in general, even for Goswami's Manas, he refers to Valmiki Ramayana as the base plot. Although it was narrated by Lord Shiva, still that's the base plot. There are changes. And he, in the beginning, tells, I haven't studied it fully, but in the beginnings, he says the reason there is some differences is because he calls it Kalpa Bheda. Kalpa is a day of Lord Brahma. Bheda happened on a different day of Lord Brahma. Like that. And there are many Ramayanas. Local languages are different. Every area of Bharatavarsha has their Ramayana with some nuances. Plus, Vyasadeva also wrote. Adhyatma Ramayana is there. Padma Purana has Ramayana. Mahabharata has. Skanda Purana has. So there's a lot of details and slight, I would call, additional details, because 24,000 verses, so then the others will fill in some details. Okay.
Thank you.
Someone else had their hand up right next to him, so the mic travels least.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I am asking a question related to the verse where Sita Devi is offering that I'll walk in front of you.
Yeah.
So I have a question that is it not what we have been always hearing, that it's the Kshatriya Dharma to protect the women.
Right.
But here we read that Sita Devi is offering that I'll protect your feet while walking.
Because
in
it's
front
the language of love. It's the language of love.
Okay.
That I want to go with you because you are such a prince, delicate. I will take the difficulty to make the path easy for you. That's the love of a wife telling her husband. You have to look at it from a rasa perspective. Second, the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas say that she is called Purushakara. That means she is the medium by which anybody and everybody can be connected to Rama. So she is the person who is the main. So 2 days ago when we started, Valmiki said there is the story of Rama, but there is also Sitaya Charitam Mahat, the great Charita of Sita. So he uses the adjective great for her. So her position in terms of the mover of the entire Leela, she is the prime one.
Then there's another, like, not a, even I'm confused whether it's a question or comment, but like the whole episode, what we are reading about, Ramayana as a overall plot, that Rama kind of incarnated to establish dharma.
Correct.
Correct. That's the plot. So now, while he's trying to establish dharma, again, the whole episode of this Lanka is part of this plot. Like,
Yeah.
so are we trying to say that even though while we get into a situation to establish dharma, we should even forget our spouse or wife or not take care of them, or like, because why is
Where
Rama?
does it say he's not taking care
No,
of?
why is Rama then using Sita Devi to kind of kill Ravana as part of the plot?
He's
that's
glorifying her. She is the prime mover for this pastime. For some other Leela, someone else is the prime mover. It doesn't matter. I mean, why the Shakti cannot do everything? In fact, she is the one who moves everything. She's the Shakti. Although he's the Parama Purusha, right? The Shvetashvatar Upanishad says, just by his desire, the Shaktis do everything. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. You heard that verse? The Supreme Lord has nothing to do. Swabhaviki, whatever he desires, his jnana, bala and kriya shaktis will take care of everything just by his desire.
But then he incarnated in human form, so
he's doing, no? He's setting up dharma, he's acting, he's made the bridge, he came, he killed Ravana. He's also doing. It's not like he is playing no role at all. It's called Ramayana. The glory is Ramachandra's. So just 5 minutes ago we said, no, her shyness is such that although she's playing such an important role, the spotlight is always on Ramachandra. I would urge you to move from the way you're viewing it to touch the side of rasa. Side of rasa. Then it'll come together. The anvaya will be easier. Okay, someone else? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the class. It was really nice. And you were saying how we'll see the different sides of the gems, and it was really fantastic. And like you said, Sita Devi has really turned the spotlight towards Ram. So I didn't know all these pastimes. So it was really amazing to know that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I had two questions actually. So one is, like we saw how Sita Devi was brave and moving all the plot. And we also saw she's submissive. So what does it really mean when we say submissive? What are the qualities?
Similar to Prabhu's question, submissiveness in this case is she doesn't cross a certain line. Although she's playing such an important role, she always remains behind the line as the chaste wife, and that Rama is doing. There is a verse, I'm pointing to you this way, but there's a verse, 11th canto, where the Navayogendras are speaking, and there are these verses that end with Vande Mahapurushate Charanara Vindam. Where we talk about that verse, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam in Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, I think. The next verse, or the one previous to that, is this lovely verse, Tyaktva Sudushta Jasurepsita Rajya Lakshmi verse, where the commentators tell us that this verse applies to three personalities. This verse applies to Krishna. This verse applies to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this verse applies to Sri Ramachandra also. And they give how every line of the verse applies to each one of them. So when it applies to Krishna, he says, Maya Mrigam Anvadhavat. So Maya Mrigam Anvadhavat means chased the Maya Mriga. For Ramachandra, it says he ran after Maricha. But when it comes to Krishna, the acharyas say that in the hands of Radharani, he is like a pet doll. Whatever she makes him do, he dances accordingly. Although he's the Parama Purusha. So that's the rasa side to look at.
I had one more
Okay.
small question. I'll be quick. So you mentioned that the devotees don't endeavor for their own protection; they depend and depend that Lord is the maintainer and protector.
Correct.
But I was wondering, was the line that we know we should do to this extent and then depend on the Lord, or
Well, in the sadhana said, because our realization somewhere is still that I can do something, but complete surrender is different. It's a higher state of that situation. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having kirtans in Srivas's home, every day they would have kirtan. One day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very concerned and said, Srivas, you're a householder. You're only dancing and singing with us. You're not doing anything about your sustenance and maintenance. How will you get money to take care of your family and food? He said, you're here. Why should I worry? If I clap 3 times, everything that is needed will come. Because the Lord is the protector. Here's a story. You like stories, no? One of the commentators of Srimad Bhagavatam, the original ones, is Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami was a Grahastha. And there was a point in time when the urge for him was to take sannyas. So he said, how can I take sannyas? I have wife, I have children. When is the right time to take sannyas? Maybe this is not the right time. I have to wait for the right time. And as he was thinking, on the wall of his ashram, there was a mother lizard that was crawling, and behind her, her baby lizard was also crawling. So he was looking at the two lizards, mom and little kid. And while he's looking at that, that kid slipped and fell to the ground. And he felt a sense of sadness. How will that poor child eat without the mother feeding him? And while he's looking at that baby lizard, there was a little bug that came near that baby. That baby opened its mouth, tongue came out, took the bug and ate. And at that time, apparently, the light went on for him that Krishna is feeding everybody. The baby lizard is being fed by Krishna. The elephants are being fed by Krishna. Who's feeding the elephants? The horses, the bugs, the frogs, the flies, human beings. Who's feeding him? He's the maintainer. If he's the maintainer, then why am I thinking I am the maintainer? And he went into sannyas. So,
thank you so
husbands,
much.
time to go. Let's go. Okay, we'll take a break. It's 2:52. We'll give you some concessions. Let's say you come back by 3 o'clock. Okay, I'm counting who all are there. I recognize the faces, so please. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Sita Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai. God Premanande. Come back soon. ప్రశ్నలు అడుగుతాడు ఆయన పేరేంటి అనుకున్నా అప్పుడు చూడద్దు మనం Almost 1 hour, but it 1 hour. Still 1 hour.
was so nice. Like, before that, I didn't know these I mean, I thought it was there to come and then that's
Like
all.
this, helpless little lady.
Yeah, exactly. It was so inspiring. Now I can pray to her. Like,
Yeah.
in Bhaktivedanta manner, are there, Hanuman also. But I don't know what to pray to them, so I don't know. I
Glorious you and my heart is strong.
You know what I was telling you, Sharanam, in the beginning of this class, I was sharing that Radha Krishna, I know, and have attachment. You know, like, I don't know, like, I don't feel
Sita
like
heard you.
yes. Now I feel more interesting. That's what I told her. After I get to know that, after your classes, I feel like, oh, I'm interested. I want to know more.
My life is successful. I'm happy you came. You said it might be tough, but you made it. Yeah.
Because they were saying, oh, it's raining, why don't you just stay home? Anyways, I'm going by cab, so whatever it rains. But tomorrow I might come. They shared your
I think it's sorry, hey, I'm also reading.
I love stories. So whenever you keep saying the story, it's actually very
Yeah,
nice.
stories have a certain charm.
Yeah.
Especially Ramayana stories.
Yeah, for sure. I think we don't talk enough about Ramayana a lot.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I just had like
What is the
biomedical. I just had I said that the Sri Lanka that we have right now is that the same Lanka actually?
So some people say, well, it's not 800 miles
Yeah.
away, but all Sri Vaishnava.
Mm.
Right. That would be.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
so how do we interpret that? Like the different Ayurveda?
Ramachandra is very well meaning. From that time to this time, land masses, river, like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, Bhakti Mahaprabhu was 250 years later.
Mm.
Yeah, but 300 years. Couldn't find the place because
Correct.
Ganga had
Everything
completely
okay.
They had to invite Jagannath and Babaji and said, yeah, this the river shift things happen. In that sense, the geography can change a little bit. It's topography. But the Acharya said, that is not.
Basically, you were just mentioning about how actually the feminine potency is Sita, she's aware of everything. Like she's the does that mean that she was aware of what's going to happen? Or like,
In what way? Which part of the
like the now, like she knew everything that's going to happen, which is
then let's take that further. If she knew, oh, now you're going to kidnap me, then all her crying in Lanka is
yeah.
so it is the nature of the internal potency. Everything happens and they're all healing. It is happening. Healing the all thing. So that's how the internal potency orchestrates all of it. Yeah, you know, the Damodar man
Yeah.
is holding a stick. The little guy is crying. Not,
Yeah.
some act.
It's not an act, yeah.
It's not an act. He's crying, he's shivering. scared of him. Although he's
So there, so Sita, as she would know, but then she's like playing that part. So
Maya Putin's cover. Like an actor on the screen.
yes,
And the end of the character. Very moving. Not exactly drama.
yes.
But actually the drama was very in a way of understanding. I'll send you a
Okay, yes, please. Okay.
why you will see them almost extremely sure they have for each other, especially around the consideration that there's why
I think it's not necessarily the mind, but like I understand there was this thing, but it's usually when in discussions with other people, I don't really know what to say.
by email. Yes. Young people. Friends. I saw a pretty long time some hidden. I don't like. Young women, people understand. If you give me now, I will try and change. We got a let's move to the 45 minutes. Just kind of build the base. After that whole spot of sharing was really let's start.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Take your name in many situations. Speak for the principle that I speak in this work, that is Krishna. Most people try and fix situation. What you have to fix is your position. The way you see your perspective, your worldview. It's not the same. Because the same circumstance exists for people and each person responds to it. As much as you try fixing this issue.
Okay.
Oh.
No, we saw that. We saw which she's looking at him. So,
I want to find. I have it somewhere. I can't recall. Because some songs that are always top of mind.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Wait. Okay. Okay.
Yes, he has induction.
Okay.
Jailers, yes. Standing. Line enter. Every word after that is like you say?
Yeah.
No. Today generally we have Selfless. Why am I not changing? Because these all objectives. That's why it's really hard to say people. It's hard. I'm feeling your Hृदय सुधा हृदय परिवार. You are their family. They are your family. I'm it. Oh, of course. Sing whatever you do, especially if you have a voice, you can say. I don't have something very, handicapped. No, but I love this. Not saying it. You know the meaning. And if you
Yes. Yes.
Let me pull it up now if I can before. Oh,
It's already.
where's every 3 o'clock? We'll start. We'll start.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
for the direction. You would like some halwa?
I don't want to eat right now because I'm starting the next one. But thank you so much. Then I'll be burping in the middle of speaking. Sumitra Devi. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Manojavam Marutatullya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutha Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Pujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Cha Janakatmaja Purato Marutiryasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai Ki Jai. Okay, the topic on Sita Devi went a lot longer than I had anticipated. So we may have to compress Sumitra Devi's story a little bit, but it's still nevertheless very beautiful. Okay. Sumitra Devi. Very interesting personality in the Ramayana. Dasharatha had three principal queens and many other queens. Of the principal ones, we know the names obviously. The first one is Kaushalya. Kaushalya Devi came from the Koshala dynasty, which was not far from where Ayodhya is, because he is in Uttara Koshala, the other part of Koshala. She is from the Koshala family. So she comes from that wonderful background. The other queen is Kaikeyi, right? Kaikeyi came from the Kekaya region, which some people say is Afghanistan, some people say is Russia, Azerbaijan, that area, where the Kekaya region. Now, Sumitra, there is no mention of which lineage Sumitra came from, because she is very enigmatic and she's a very special person. Her name is Sumitra. Su means very good. Mitra, friend. She is a very good friend. That means a friend is one who always gives the best advice, because they have our well-wishing always in the center of their heart. Another word we use for such friends is suhrit, well-wishers. Mitra is another name for, not Mitra, but Mitra is the name for the sun. Mitra, one who removes darkness. In darkness, we have one feature that is called fear. So dark makes us scared. We are another expression of darkness is ignorance. Ignorance also, in general, makes people scared. But I don't know what the future will look like. I don't know, I'm not this body. So I have fears. Bhayam dvitiya abhivinesha tasya. It is because I think there is something outside of Krishna, other than Krishna. That is the dvitiya abhivinesha. I'm absorbed in it. The natural outcome of it is fear. So Mitra is the one who removes the darkness. So Sumitra not only is a good friend, but her advice removes darkness or ignorance from whoever she advises. So in the Ramayana, she only gives advice to two people, Kausalya and Lakshmana. The part with Kausalya is a long part, so I'm skipped all of that. We're only going to see the conversation she has with Lakshmana. When Lakshmana comes to her, touches her feet and said, I'm going. When Ramachandra said to Kausalya, I'm going, she said, no, you cannot go like that. If you want to go, I cannot live without you. I will also come to the forest. So Ramachandra gave her the principle of dharma, that you cannot leave your husband and go to the forest like that. When he comes to Sita and he says, I'm going to the forest, she says, I want to come. He says, no. She asks him, what did you tell your mother? He said, I told my mother her dharma is to be with her husband. Then she says, then what about me? Like a checkmate situation for Ram. So we'll see her mood as a mother. I want to see the first slide. Is it fire something? No. This is Lakshmana. Right in the very first chapter of the Valmiki Ramayana, where Narada Muni is speaking. You remember we heard the verses about Sita's invocation, that Sita was the darling wife of Ramachandra, who also went to the forest with him. So before that, he speaks of Lakshmana. This is that verse of Lakshmana. So please repeat after me. Tam vrajantam priyo bhrata Lakshmano anujagama Snehad vinaya sampanna सुमित्रानन्दवर्धन भ्रातरं दयितो भ्रातुः सौभ्रात्रम् अनुदर्शयन्. Right in the second line, Valmiki is exclaiming, "Ha! Ha!" because he is so amazed by Lakshmana. Tam Vrajantam. When Ramachandra is going to the forest, Priyo Bhrata Lakshmana Anujagama. Ha! That very dear brother called Lakshmana also started going. The ha is that Lakshmana did not think, consider, evaluate. Jaun, nahi jaun, kya hoga? Is it not 2 months? Should I? No consideration. As soon as Ramachandra is leaving, he left. And the ha also is Ramachandra was obliged by the words of Dasharatha and Kaikeyi. Lakshmana has no such obligation. Nobody said, Lakshmana, you should go. He went voluntarily. Ramachandra is not going voluntarily per se, his volition, because Lakshmana tells Ramachandra, you don't have to listen to Dasharatha. He's an old man. He's enamored by his wife. That's not how kings behave. You give me the order, I will either kill him or arrest him, and you should be the rightful king. And no one's going to say that is not right because Dharma says you should be the king. Ramachandra says no. But Lakshmana goes right after. And what are the qualities of Lakshmana? Which we will hear tomorrow in detail. Sneha, love, affection. Actually, sneha means that which is greasy, that sticks. So ghee is also called sneha. You touch ghee, it sticks to you. So affection, love is that which sticks, sneha. Snehad vinaya sampanna is endowed with humility. And he is Sumitra Ananda Vardhana. He is the one who increases Sumitra's pleasure, happiness, joy by being such an obedient son of that mother. We'll see what she will tell him. Bharataram Daito Bharat. He's a brother of that wonderful, loving brother, Sri Ramachandra. And Saubhratram Anudarshaya. He showed what brotherly love, what friendship should look like. Saubhratram. What good brother looks like. So Lakshmana, as Sita Devi has set the standard for what an ideal wife should look like, Lakshmana and Bharata. But we're not speaking of Bharata now, but Bharata set the standard for what brother should look like. Bharata then supersedes that even more. No. So what happened, just a quick thing, is after the Ashwamedha Yajna, Dasharatha performed something called Putra Kama Ishti. Ishti is another type of Yajna, that is the supplemental Yajna with the desire Putra Kama. He wanted sons. He didn't have. He's 60,000 years old. The kingdom needs to be passed on to someone. At that time, the Yajna Purusha came out and gave payasam that will make it possible for the 3 queens to have children. Kausal, is it there? So this is how he distributed it. And the Govinda Raja and other Sri Vaishnava Acharyas give different shades of nuances for this act. I don't have time, so I'm going to run through it, but this is how he distributed the payasam. Kausalyayai Narapati Payasa Ardham Dadau. Narapati, the king, gave Kausalya half of that payasam. Ardhardham Dadau Chapi Sumitrayai Naradika. Then what was remaining, half he gave to Sumitra. Kaikeyai Chavasishtardham Dadau Putra Artha Karana. So from what was remaining after that, half he gave to Kaikeyi. So something is remaining. 1/8 is still remaining. Pradadau Chavasishtardham Payasam Amrutopam. Amruta Upamam. Tasting like nectar. Then Dasharatha looked at the three queens, they all got a portion. He looked that there was something else remaining. Anuchintaya Sumitrayai Punareva Mahipati. Anuchintaya, thinking about it, he looked at Sumitra and to her he gave. Evam Tasau Dada Raja Bharyayam Payasam Prithak. That's how he distributed the Payasam among his three. There's a lot of explanation. Why half this, half of that? No time. Otherwise, I will not get through Sumitra instead of sitting on distribution of Payasam. Because Sumitra got Payasam 2 times, she bore twins. The sweet part is, after giving half to Kausalya, he gave half to Sumitra. So of the two twins, the first one became very attracted to Ramachandra. Then half he gave to Kaikeyi. Then what was remaining, he gave to Sumitra again. So the second twin became very attached to Bharat. Shatrughna is a die-hard fan of Bharat. Govinda Raja and others say Shatrughna had all wonderful qualities. The only thing that he didn't have is Rama Bhakti. So that was not what he was wanting. They're all Rama Bhaktas. But the emphasis is that he is the devotee of the devotee. He's a Mahabhagavatas Bhakt. Bharata is the Mahabhagavat. Therefore, Shatrughna is that one. Don't take the not have Ram Bhakti literally, but you get the meaning. Okay. So these two sons that she bore, what is wonderful, Sumitra offered both her sons in the service of the sons, the other two. So right from the beginning, her whole character is that she was proud, happy to offer servants to the Lord and the Lord's Mahabharata. Dasanudasa is all that she is embodying. So she fulfilled her role as a mother because she dedicated her sons in service to Bhagavatas and Bhagavan. Now, so it's wonderful as we hear a lot about Lakshmana's contribution. We hear very little. One episode when he becomes angry with Manthara, and then later in Uttarakanda, he goes and kills a demon called Madhu. Other than that, Shatrughna is not seen anywhere. I mean, he's there in every situation, he's there. When Bharata is in Nandigram, Shatrughna is also there. But we only hear about Bharata. When Bharata went to KK Raja, he's also there. The Ayodhya Kanda begins with Gachata Matula Kulam, Bharatena Saha. He went to his mama's house and he took Shatrughna with him. Right. The reason is Shatrughna, as a Vaishnava, quality is like salt. Salt brings taste to the food, but it brings nourishment also. That is never seen. You cannot see the salt, but it's always enriching the preparation. So his contribution is like that. So she named Vasishtha named her two sons. One was named Lakshmana. And Vasishtha said, the reason his name is Lakshmana is because he's Lakshmi Sampanna. That means he's endowed with Lakshmi. Now, nowhere in the Ramayana is Lakshmana rich in that sense, Lakshmi Sampanna. So what he has, the Lakshmi that he has, the wealth that he has, or we can say Lakshmana is the king of the kingdom of service. Therefore, he is Lakshmi Sampanna. He is the greatest wealth. And as Vaishnavas, under the wonderful leadership of Srila Prabhupada and those who are following Srila Prabhupada, we are also asked to appreciate But of all the wealth that we may have, having the wealth of service outshines any other wealth. Not that others are not important, but this outshines everything else. Because all the other type of wealth is not in our control. It comes and goes. Mostly goes. It seems like it comes and goes. But the opulence of seva is always there. Nobody can ever stop us from offering a service. Nobody can. It is our innate nature. It is our right. It's the only right we have. The expression that we have freedom to serve. Even if we don't have anything, no facilities, still one can serve. As long as one is alive, one can serve. Okay, I think Tam Chapi. Oh, really? All the way, okay. Oh. One more up. Okay. So, what? Mm, sorry, I really lost it. Oh, sorry, I'm going to be second part. Sorry, very sorry. Mm. What happened? Which slide? Well, I'm not looking at the slide. You have 245, Srishta one. Okay. Okay, very good. Sorry. So here's what happens. Lakshmana also comes. Sorry for that. I got a little distracted on this one. Lakshmana comes, touches her feet, and says, I'm going to the forest for 14 years because Ramachandra is going. Now, one may think that she may said, don't go. What will I do without you? But Sumitra very pleasantly surprises all of us by saying, oh, so you can repeat. Shrishtasthvam vanavasaya svanaruktas suhrujjane Rame pramadam makarshe putra bhratari gacchati. Putra, oh my dear son, bhratari gacchati. Go with your brother. Why? Srushtatsvam vanavasaya. You were born only to live in the forest. Svanaruktas Swanuraktas suhrujjane. Although you have great affection, anurakta means affection. But for suhrujjane, for all your well-wishers, you have great affection. Yet, you should go to the forest, which means, I know you love me very much. I know that. But I think I agree, you should go to the forest. But here's an instruction, Lakshmana. Rame pramadam makarshi. When you are serving Ramachandra, don't become negligent. Don't get distracted. And there are meanings for these words behind, but for now, we're just keeping going. So she says, it is your good fortune that Rama goes to the forest, and then my son, for him, the greatest reward would be that he would accompany Rama and have affection for the feet of Ramachandra and Sita Devi. Lakshmana, even for a moment, don't yield to passion or lust, envy or arrogance of any kind. She's giving him instructions. Avoid all vices and serve Sita in thought and words and actions. Take care, my dear son. So then there's this lovely verse. Hey, where is it? So she says, Vyasanani va samruddho va Vyasani va samruddho va Gatiresha tava nagha Esha loke satam dharmo Yajjeshta vashago bhavet Esha loke satam dharma. All the great sages have said that in this world, the best dharma is yad jeshta vasha ga bhavet. One who becomes guided by those who are older brothers, or by one's jeshta means superiors. Literally, one who was born before you, but the superior. Yad yad acharati sreshta, like this jeshta. If you follow your older brother, all dharma you have fulfilled by it. And so she says, Vyasani va samruddho va. Sometimes in the forest, you may get all sorts of happiness and joy. Sometimes it will be very difficult. You'll be challenged. The mind may not agree. Oh, why am I doing this? But in all of those conditions, Gatir Esha Tava Nagha. O sinless one, Ramachandra is always your Gati. Sitapati is your only Gati. And only then you have Mati. So she says, in goodness or not, in joy or sadness, Ramachandra is your only shelter. I wish mothers give such wonderful advices. Idam hi vrittam uchitam kulasyasya sanatanam Dhanam diksha cha yagneshu tantuyago mrudeshu cha idam hi vrittam uchitam. This is the best kind of engagement or behavior or character. Kulasya asya sanatanam. In this kula, Ikshvaku kula, this is how everybody has been. That when it comes to dhanam, charity, diksha, that means initiation. Initiation is you sit down to, you have a sankalpa to perform a certain yajna and you see it through. Dhanam diksha cha yajneshu, in yajnas. Tantu yago mrideshu cha. Or you're following some previous traditions. Or when you go to the battlefield. The only way one will come back from the battlefield is either you're victorious or your dead body comes back. You will never retreat from battlefield. You will always give charity. All the Ikshvaku kings never shied from giving charity, never shied from doing welfare activities for all their praja. Lakshmanam tvavema muktva Sasiddhim priya raghavam Sumitra gaccha gaccheti Punah punarvachatam Punah punaruvachatam Lakshmanam tvav evam uktva sa. she, having spoken to Lakshmana all these instructions, samsiddhim priyaraghavam. She made sure that Lakshmana received these instructions. And then Sumitra again and again said to her son, Punar Punaruvacha, Gacha, Gacha iti, go, go. Please go. Don't hesitate. You should go. You should go and serve Sri Ramachandra. She never said, why should you go? It's not for you. You stay here. Because the other wife said, Bharata should stay here and be the king. Sumitra says, go after your brother. You should go. Gacha, gacha iti punapunaruvacha. Tam. And this is the fantastic highlight verse, the next one. And please remember this verse, commit to memory, because this is one of the fascinating verses. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi Gacchata Tayatha Sukham. Oh, my dear child, my darling Lakshmana, Gaccha. Tata means my dear darling, my dear son. Tata, Gaccha Yatha Sukham. Go happily. Do not have any concern. Oh, how will I be? What? No such worries. Freely go. But when you go, here's a very important instruction for you. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. From now on, Ramachandra is your Dasharatha. That means he is your father. So you treat him like how you would treat your father. Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam. From now on, Sita is your mother. Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. That forest is your Ayodhya. Gachatata. So why should you be bothered? Your mother is there, your father is there, Ayodhya is there. So Yatha Sukham, happily go to the forest. That's the direct meaning. Now there is a indirect or hidden spiritual meaning. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Okay. Ratha means chariot or vehicle. Dasha Ratha. Dasha means 10. Okay. Dasha also means a bird. Dasharatham means one whose vehicle is a bird. Who's that? Lord Vishnu. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. She's, in Bombay we say Bhanda Foda. She's revealing the secret that you think Ramachandra is no human being, is not human being. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Please understand, Lord Ramachandra is Vishnu himself. Mam Vidhi. Now, on the first day, when we heard the word Ma Nishada, what was Ma? Lakshmi Devi. Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam. That Sita is Lakshmi Devi. So you have Lakshmi and Narayana with you. So wherever Lakshmi and Narayana are there, Ayodhya is there. So what are you worried? You're living in the spiritual world. Gachatata Yatha Sukham. Go happily. Because that vana, that forest is Ayodhya. Another name for Ayodhya is Aparajita. That which cannot be conquered by anybody. Okay. Then there is a dharmic meaning. She says, consider Rama as Dasharatha. And consider Janaki, Sita as me. That means she's giving him a clue. Try and draw some parallels. The parallel is Ramachandra is superior to Dasharatha because he's the Supreme Lord. And Sita is superior to me. So Lakshmana, for you, the forest will become superior than Ayodhya. Because in Ayodhya, There are many people serving Rama. You also have one little service. In the forest, exclusive service for 14 years. All the services you will do. You will wake up the deities, you will do the arti, you will cook breakfast, you will do Rajbhog arti, you will cook Rajbhog, you will wash the pots, you will put them to rest, you will wake them again, you will do this arti, you will that arti, this boga service, massage Ramachandra's feet, make their bed. Imagine. No need for any other devotee in this temple. You are the president and the servant, and everything is you. Not for one day, but for 14 years. So, gacha tata yatha sukam. Happy. No need to share your service with anybody. Although we love to share service, but she's telling him, you have exclusive service for a very long time. Then there is a meaning that is hidden in this from a plot story or a plot perspective. The plot she's telling Lakshmana is Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Right? Ramachandra, you should consider Rama as Dasharatha. That means this Dasharatha, he succumbed to the request of his wife. In the future, this Rama will also succumb to the request of his wife. When she says, I want that golden deer. Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja. And look at me. I will be separated from my husband. She will be separated from her husband. Because whatever happened in Ayodhya is going to happen in that forest. Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. So Ayodhya will become, and that forest will be Ayodhya. This Ayodhya will become like a forest because Ramachandra is not there, Sita is not there, you are not there. So this verse, they say, is the one, this and the previous verse, gave Lakshmana how he should serve Sita and Rama. Because she gave this instruction, not that he did not know, but mother's blessings, that's the important piece here. This mother's blessings he took so seriously. And there are evidences throughout the Ramayana later where Lakshmana is carrying out this instruction by his mother. He would always treat Ramachandra, but tomorrow we're talking about Lakshmana, so I won't give out too much. Okay? And I'm also condensing this presentation because we need some time. Lakshmana, the way he treats Ramachandra again and again, is a wonderful situation. Story is, they are in Chitrakuta. They've come to Panchavati, sorry. And in Panchavati, Ramachandra asks Lakshmana, you please build a house that you think will be to my liking, to Sita's liking, and to your liking. Anyway, so there's a whole episode there where Lakshmana starts to cry and falling at Ramachandra's feet saying, why is it that you are treating me like this? So then he explains, at what point do I have my own liking? Why are you treating me like this? That you should like it, Sita should like it, and I should like it? I don't exist there. For me, whatever you two like, that's all I like. I don't have a separate liking. So don't speak like that. Anyway, there's more meaning to it, but that was his mood. So anyway, when he takes care of, and Lakshmana is such an expert. He's good in architecture. He's good in construction. He has understood HVAC, air conditioning in the forest, that he has built the rooms in such a way that it is calm and cool during the summers and it is warm during the winters. He went to the river, brought water and fresh flowers so that they can do Griha Pravesh ceremony. He recited the mantras too. So after all this, Ramachandra embraces Lakshmana And he says to him, "Oh, Lakshmana, you have understood my heart. You have done everything excellently. I feel so happy and delighted that you are taking care of me like a father takes care of his child. So I don't miss my father." Then when he gets the news from Bharata that Dasharatha is passed away, is dead, he tells Lakshmana, "I am sorry that your father has passed away." He doesn't say our father has passed away. Because Ramachandra's consideration is, Lakshmana, you're taking care of me so well. I don't miss my father. But for you, I'm not taking care of you, so you've lost your father. It's a sweet way of expressing. And the way he served Sita Devi. We all know the famous verse, right? The famous verse is when Sugriva shows all the jewelry of Sita Devi, not all, half the jewelry. One earring, one bangle, one keyura, one anklet, because the other she was still wearing and it's there in Lanka. Because one hand she has, whatever hand she has free, she's put them in a little cloth bundle and thrown it down. So Sugriva shows Sita's jewelry. Ramachandra looks at it. His eyes are filled with tears. So he says to Lakshmana, I cannot discern what these jewelries are. I can't even see because my eyes are filled with tears. Can you tell? So Lakshmana looks at it and he says, Naham janami keyure. I cannot recognize the keyura that you wear here. Naham janami kundale. I cannot recognize the earrings. I've never seen this before. I don't recognize it. He said, I didn't say it. Naham janami. I don't know this. Nupure janami. Nityam padabhi vandanam. I know this because every day I used to offer obeisances to Sita Devi and meditating on her feet, so I can recognize the Nupur. So the question is raised. In 14 years, they were living together. I mean, Lakshmana was a little afraid, but when they would walk in the forest, sometimes Ramachandra would be first, Sita in middle, Lakshmana right behind. And in some cases, Lakshmana is in the front, Sita in the middle, Ram in the back. When they had to cross rivers, especially the Ganga and all, it's a wide river, Lakshmana creates an entire raft, boat out of wood. And he has all this luggage. Remember, she has all these clothes and fashion jewelry and all. So he loads all of that to the raft. Ramachandra says, first help Sita get on the boat. So you mean Lakshmana never saw Sita's face? Is it possible? The beauty of that verse is we can only observe depending upon what our orientation is. Let's say I have an orientation for money or wealth, and I hold that as a great value. Then anybody who's there, I may recognize, I may notice their wristwatch. I may notice what they have in their home, what kind of car they have, what brand. I may recognize because that's the value for me. Other things I may not notice at all because I'm not looking for it. Right? Similarly, Lakshmana says, Na jana me, because that's not his absorption. Sita's face, her bodily features are not his absorption. His only absorption is her feet. So that he recognizes very well. That's, she says, Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja, treat her, she's your mother. So that's his absorption. Although he's seen her face, it doesn't register for him. Oh, because after all, he's not thinking, Sita's jewelry is never, it didn't register. That is how he served them. And therefore, of all the reasons that can be spoken, Sita touched that part, which is the most sacred thing for Lakshmana. When she said, For 13 years, you've been harboring a desire for me. His heart was shattered. Although we heard from this side, it's required for him to be out of the scene. But the way it happened was very, very painful. Very painful for him. Otherwise, Lakshmana will not leave. So, a good lesson from that, among many lessons, good lesson is in the course of bhakti, in general, one should not doubt another person's loyalty to Krishna and the Parampara. We can never doubt, we can never say, you're not loyal. We have no right to say to anybody. We don't have the authority, nor the capacity, nor the qualification to doubt someone's fidelity to Guru and Krishna. Number one. Another, Lakshmana plays the role of Guru Tattva. That's like Lord Balaram, Lord Nityananda, Lakshmana too. He represents Guru Tattva. When a desire for a jiva is not getting fulfilled because the Guru is not permitting, is not giving permission for that to happen, because she's asking Lakshmana, go away, right? Because your brother is in distress, he's gone after the deer that I've asked for. He doesn't leave, he doesn't agree to it. Then she ascribes blame on him. So one should be careful, at least the Acharyas say, one should be careful to not ascribe blame for my unfulfilled desires, to ascribe that blame on one's Guru. Another way of it is, one shouldn't even ask the Guru in nicely hidden, couched, polished way to fulfill my desires. Because if they say no, then guess what happens? One becomes angry. One should be careful. Okay, now we have 10 minutes or 8 minutes. There is a whole conversation Sumitra has with Kausalya to assuage her heart, to make her feel confident that in 14 years, your son will come back, he will touch your feet, and when he stands up in front of you, you will see the full moon-like face of Rama. Until then, please understand, it is such a great thing that he's going to the forest to fulfill the words of his, and she speaks words and words and words of assurance to Kausalya, that Kausalya becomes, there's joy in her heart. This is the words of a friend, that somehow the other person whom we are consoling or advising or helping, the joy should spring in their heart. Okay, that's about Sumitra. Shortened, condensed, to see if you want to put some discussion on Sumitra in general, the topics we have covered until from the last couple of days, because I'm only, the way it's been going, we've been only having 2-3 some minutes for discussions. So not only questions, I would appreciate if you have some reflection on, hey, I like this, that was something that I appreciated, or I learned something new, whatever you want to reflect would be good too. It'll help me.
So, sorry, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, out of the 3 wives, both Kaushalya
Right.
and Sumitra are super excellent. Only Kaikeyi fell down because of Manthara's association. We can understand that?
Now let me tell you what, I can't remember the commentary right now, but perhaps Govindaraja or another commentator. I can't recall right now. But here's the conversation Ramachandra has. He has absolutely no complaint, anger, or anything against Kaikeyi. In fact, the opposite. When he's about to go to the forest, apparently, he tells Kaikeyi, thank you. You have now proven that you love me more than you love your own son Bharata. And the reason he gives her is, you have made my life very easy. I only have responsibility for Lakshmana and Sita. But you've taken the entire responsibility of Ayodhya and dumped it on your son's shoulder. Poor fellow has to bear that. For me, it's free. So thank you. You've shown that you love me more. So he never allowed Kaikeyi to be spoken about like that. Now, the hint given by Valmiki for us is if you read that section of Ayodhya Kanda, the chapters where she's being like vicious with Dasharatha, she's digging her heel into the ground and not budging. Literally 27 times Valmiki refers to her as Devi, Devi, Devi. Devi means effulgent, divine personality. So those are all hints that she is facilitating that Ramachandra, although Kaikeyi loves Rama a lot, more than Kausalya, Kaikeyi loves him, they say. She has understood the heart of Rama and is making it possible for him to go to the forest. The reason being, not so much Ravana. Ravana, nobody cares, because Ravana, just by Ramachandra saying, Ravana, die, Ravana's gone. Even if he doesn't have to say, just has to think it. But there are millions of sages in Dandaka waiting, meditating. They haven't eaten, they haven't slept. They're performing all sorts of austerities that someday Rama will come for them. Instead of he being at home, she's sending him so that her son can be shared with the whole world. That's Kaikeyi. Couched and hidden in, he needs to go. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare.
like Lord Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma.
Yes, Ramachandra also.
And Prabhuji, do they come in the same Divya Yuga or they have different Divya Yugas when they appear? Like Lord Ram, did Lord Ram come in the previous Treta Yuga that just passed by, or some other?
So this is the 28th Yuga of Vaivasvata Manu. Ramachandra, according to Rupa Goswami, who refers to Matsya Purana, came in the 24th Yuga.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mataji. You're going to be recorded. Can you take that off? It's very distracting. Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, we know that when Krishna, when he decided to end his pastimes, what exactly happened. But at least I do not know how Lord Ram ended his pastime here. We know that he lived for 14,000 years.
So in the Uttarakanda, Sita Devi returns to Mother Earth. Valmiki brings her Lavakusha. She goes back to Mother Earth. Rama stays a little longer. He's heartbroken, but he stays a little longer. And then one day, Durvasa Muni comes saying, I have a special message for Ramachandra. And he tells Ramachandra, I have to convey something to you, but on the condition that your and my conversation should not be interrupted by anybody. If anybody interrupts it, you should banish them from the kingdom. Is that important? Ramachandra, Durvasa Muni is ordered as a Brahman. Yes. At that time, Durvasa Muni is conveying that it is time for you to wind up your pastimes and return to your abode. Oh, I'm so sorry. Kala Purusha. The one, the superintendent of time is having this conversation with this condition. And at that time, Durvasa Muni comes knocking at the door. I want to meet Ramachandra. Now we know you don't keep Durvasa Muni waiting. So Lakshmana is in this quandary because he's the guard outside. Can I let Ramachandra know that Durvasa Muni has come? If I don't, Durvasa Muni may curse me, I don't care. He may curse Ramachandra. He may curse the Ikshvaku dynasty. What should I do? And at that time, he says, I don't want him to curse. I know it's an important conversation, but I think this is important. And he knocks on the door and interrupts the conversation. So out of a heavy heart, Lakshmana is banished from the kingdom by Ramachandra. And for that, Lakshmana winds away his pastimes. Then Ramachandra takes Bharata, Shatrughna, all the residents of Ayodhya, and walks towards the Sarayu river, enters the Sarayu river with the entire Ayodhya Vasis, and returns back to his Valmiki's word is to that abode which is called Santana Karani. It means the always expanding spiritual realm. Ayodhya, Aparajita. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Prabhu, I was wondering, thank you for the class again. Like Lakshmana was embarrassed by what Sita Devi said, but how is it possible for him? Like, because he's very exalted,
Yeah.
and he knows he has to stick by what Rama has said. So why didn't he just explain it to?
He tried to explain to her. She was not willing to listen. At that point, for him, it was, if I continue engaging in this conversation, it will become worse. Not for me, for her. She will say even worse things. And that's not good for her. That is why he walks away. Great people never think about themselves. They consider what they impact the other person. So they don't engage because it's not healthy. So when he goes out, Ramachandra comes to meet him. And then it is the worst situation. Sita is unhappy with him. Ramachandra is also unhappy with him. I told you not to leave. So he explains what to do. He said, but I told you not to leave. And when they come back, she's not there. You have something?
Sorry, Prabhu. Even this, I understand that this Lakshman Rekha also is not actually specified in the Valmiki Ramayana.
I mean, that detail is not there.
So
It doesn't mean it is not there.
How does it happen then? We all know that because
Ravana came dressed as a sannyasi and said, Bhiksha. So she said, oh, we've just collected fruits. I will serve you. She walks out to serve him. That's when becomes Ravana. And like we've seen, grabs her. He grabs one hand here and one hand behind her on her neck. And then immediately his chariot shows up, takes her away. All happens in a moment. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, we're a minute over 4, so we should stop. Yes, the last one, this one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for
Please
the
tell me
class.
a nice story that you told me. I couldn't forget the whole evening. It was going through my head. But thank you for that story yesterday.
Thank you, Prabhu. Just want to know about, because Sri Ramchandra ji, he left with all the Ayodhya Vasis, he went back. So Hanuman ji is called Chiranjeevi. So what's the purpose of him still staying back, in even because he's there from 24 till 28, and I think he's still...
He tells Hanuman, you remain and you continue meditating on my name. And there are two blessings. Actually, there's one blessing, then there is a connecting verse to it. Lord Brahma, when he blesses Valmiki to write the Ramayana, he tells him, Yavat sthasyanti girayaha saritascha mahitale. As long as there are mountains and rivers on earth, tavat, until that time, Ramayana katha lokeshu, among people, pracharishyati, will be continue to spread. So that you combine with a verse called Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam. You heard that verse? Tatra Tatra Krutamastakанjalim Bhashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam. So he experienced, I mean, our philosophy is you experience the Lord in his name, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So for Hanuman, whether he's in Ayodhya or wherever he is, where Ram Katha is happening, he's experiencing Rama's presence. But service in separation as a servant, that's our philosophy. So he has that, I guess, unique gift of serving in separation. But he's happy, joyful.
Yes.
Okay. Shri Shri Sita Rama Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Go Premanande. Jai.